Hi guys! So as a follow-up from my video I created earlier about cold resistance in Tears of the Kingdom, I'm also going to make a video that'll help you get some heat resistance. So a similar thing, if you're heading to say, I'm going to load up the map. If you're going to head out towards the desert to see the Gerudo, you're most definitely going to encounter the heat and you will need some kind of a heat resistance. Likewise, up where the Gorons hang out, there's also an issue with the heat up there, so you're going to need some kind of a means to cool yourself down in those hot environments. So there's a couple of ways you can go about doing it. The first way is through food, just like it was with cold. So you can make various little recipes, which I'll include a link in the description to help you out with. You can see here the chili steamed mushrooms give you heat resistance for 5 minutes. A handy trick that I picked up was if you just drop a chunk of meat, raw meat, when you're in any sort of cold climate, so maybe up where the Rito live, or Rudo, I forget what it is. If you just drop a slab of meat on the floor, it'll turn to ice, and then it becomes something that you lick in the little desert. Sounds delicious. But that'll keep you heat resistant for a minute, and it doesn't really cost you much. You know, you still get it 1 heart. Meat's easy enough to find. It's could be handy. However, the better way to go about it is to combine something together. So if you have a chunk of raw meat like this, and you combine it together with a chill shroom, so one of the blue chili mushrooms, you get an enhanced healing. So you get 3 hearts, but I also get 3 minutes of heat resistance. Then what I did here is I created the same recipe again, except I used I think 3 mushrooms and 2 steaks, 2 pieces of raw meat, and as you can see, I get a hell of a lot more hearts and also get a considerable larger amount of heat resistance. So the potency of the recipe depends on the amount of ingredients you use. So if you include more meat than chill shrooms, you'll probably get a higher healing of hearts, or the other way around. So you can amplify your recipes a good bit to get a lot more out of it. So for this one, what was it, 3 minutes? I guess if I really wanted to maximize it, I could have just made 3 of these. It would have cost me 1 extra piece of meat. But I also, what would I have gotten? An extra 30 seconds of heat resistance. But the downside is I'd have to consume 3 versus 1. So it's up to you on that sense. You can also create elixirs. I don't have one here because I don't have any cold critter. But if you get any sort of a cold lizard, you can cook that up with some goblin or some monster parts, like a Lizapho's tail or something like that, to create an elixir. And just like the recipes, combine more things together to create a stronger version of the elixir. Another way to go about it is through using armor. Now I haven't got any yet, which I'm going to go on the hunt for soon, but I do have my flame guard that I got from my amiibo. This will give me some resistance to the heat, but only 1 level of it. Now a handy trick I picked up from the cold resistance was with I'll tap over again. Was with certain stones. So certain stones in the game have elemental powers. So if we looked here, this is what we used for the last time. Rubies contain the power of fire. And when you combine that with a weapon, the weapon becomes essentially a fire wand. But if you go over to sapphires, sapphires contain the very essence of ice. So if I hold a sapphire, and I'll just drop it on the ground. And now I'm going to pick a weapon. We'll say just the soldiers or the knight's broadsword. And then I go down here and use the fuse tool. And I fuse the sapphire with the sword. You can see now that the effect of cold from that sword is there. And that's also going to help keep you cool in the hot environments. So I'll teleport somewhere now quick. But you can see it's on my back. If I change my weapon, do you see my temperature gauge on the bottom right of the screen? So right now, it's Goron going away. It's sort of, you know, I don't know, 1 o'clock. If I equip the Sapphire Broadsword, it jumps right back down. So this will allow you to sort of cheat the system a bit. This will give you heat resistance without having to waste a lot of money or resources buying or even searching for all of the ingredients that you need to get heat resistance in the game. Obviously, if you start using this weapon, it'll degrade and you'll eventually lose it. So you may want to reconsider how you're going to go into combat. So still bring some elixirs and recipes with you. So if you have to go into combat, you're going to need to change to potentially a more powerful weapon. Because this sword, what is it? 8. I'm not going to do a whole lot of damage with that So I would suggest you have your recipes for when you must go into battle. But if you're just looking for some quests, or you're looking to reach the city, you're looking to find some shrines or the towers, whatever you're trying to do, this sapphire broadsword, or any sapphire anything, just combine a sapphire with any weapon and the effect will always be the same. And this will give you a little bit of a shortcut to save you a lot of resources until you can either find some armor that gives you the benefits of the heat resistance, or you find another way about it. I think recipes will generally do a good. I'm quite fond of the armor that I have, as it gives me some attack up. But it's up to you. But there you go. That's 3 handy ways to get heat resistance in Tears of the Kingdom.